I just want to start off by this. Much love and appreciation to the family directly out there. Normally I don't have issues, with people and different things like that. But when I continuously end up seeing stuff like this on an everyday basis, it will start to, of course, get on anybody's nerves. Because obviously, in a sense, you're talking to yourself. But obviously you want attention, so I'm going to give you that attention, pretty quick. Um, my main thing is I don't care. I've been doing this for about like three whatever years, and I don't care. I'm focused on my own thing. I've listed why it is that I focus on certain things dealing with the black community and the way that I speak and the definitions that I use and all this other stuff. It don't matter what type of book that I use. It don't matter what type of verbiage I use. The main thing that I understand is that when it comes to black people, I'm going to continue using the terminology black people because that's the main terminology that black people tend to deal with and go to. I can use other definitions from a dictionary, but like I said before, it don't matter how it is that I speak or say things, people are still going to have a issue, right? And also on top of that, it's funny to me that when I just so happen to make videos and I'm specifically talking to and directing energy towards black women, and it's not even in a hurtful manner, right? That I magically start seeing, a whole bunch of paragraphs and books, like this, which literally I'm like, I don't care. I don't. Like if that's the time that you're on right now, you can go and pick and choose, make your own platform, and go ahead and speak to black people on that type of time. But like I said, this is the most, at this moment in time that you're going to get out of me, when it comes to talking about this and all the other things that you decided to listen. And I think this is about roughly like a minute and 55 seconds. New intro. So much love and appreciation to those of you who have been with me for the 2 year period plus that I've been doing this. Thank you for showing your love and support to the channel. And to anybody else who is brand new to the platform and you would like to support the channel, also you can do it by way of Patreon, Anchor, the clothing store, and also the shoe shop that is listed in the comment description below. And again, thank you to any and all of you guys who have been here to support this channel during the 2+ year period. I wouldn't be able to do what I do every single day without you. So, normally I let these videos bake and, then I'll make a response video. But I ended up seeing something that was quite odd directly in the comment section, and that pertained directly to a comment that I literally spent some time actually replying back to a person. And, magically that comment just disappeared as soon as I press enter. I'm like, okay, I didn't say anything wrong or anything like that. All the other comments that I have placed, they are actually there in the response section. But magically, whenever I decide to reply to this one specific person, the comments disappear. And that's when I feel that, certain people who leave comments on my page are ops, meaning that more than likely they work for YouTube or something or other. And when you decide to leave a comment specifically to them, magically it disappears. You didn't say nothing wrong. Your words weren't even anything that would fit within the algorithm to basically block or erase your comment, but yet that comment does not show up. And I'm like, that is pretty interesting there. So yeah, for all in case and purposes, White Diamond is an op. I don't care if she decides to state, yeah, I'm a black woman, I'm this, I'm that, and all this. I don't care. I don't care. This is why I respond in video because if you delete the video, then obviously that's really letting me know something. But that hasn't happened yet. So like I said, op.
Here comes a new challenger!
So, the funniest thing is I decided to go back to the comment section and she just literally wrote this comment, right? And she basically stated that what your boy needs to do is stop making BS videos for views. How can you say that you love black women, but every time I look around, here we go with these kinds of BS videos. You don't hurt what you claim to love because that makes no sense. Um, like I said before, when I actually look at all of the videos that I've done on both platforms, me actually speaking and critiquing black women doesn't even encompass 1% of the videos. So, like I said before, this is further proof of when I say that people are very selective on the videos that they want to pick, right? Now, she could come back and say, well, I sat up there and left a comment about the black fathers. That's great. But any other time I normally have made, positive videos pertaining to black men, no show. Anytime I've made videos pertaining to alabaster men, right, doing negative things towards black women, magically I get some flack. Magically, it's a back and forth of, oh, why are you worried about, and so what if she wants to date, and why does this have to do with black men, and why are you always talking about black? It's usually that type of deal that always happens. And if nobody believes me, you're free to go through the comment section and look at her comments, but more than likely she might decide to edit or change those things. YouTube is a magical place. Comments just magically disappear. So yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I said, this is why I do video commentary. It's people say, like, it doesn't make any sense for you to try to characterize yourself as a black woman and then continuously come to a black man's platform, listening to my voice, looking at the content that I put together, and then you're consistently offended by it. Nobody tells you to come to this platform. Nobody tells you to click on the videos. Nobody tells you to listen to the videos, and nobody tells you to stay here so that you can just get offended every single time. And then you want to get in your emotions and start talking about this, that, and the third. And then you want to say that you're not talking down about black men, but you're always in a comment section with the words BM or black men coming directly out of your mouth. But yet you're not staying on the topic, which is how this black woman, who is going to be perceived and deemed as a black woman by the world in general, no matter where she comes from, they're going to look at her in a negative light, and they're going to look at her sexualizing herself. But yet you don't want to talk about that. You don't want to be on that topic, though. You don't got time for that, though. But you got time for a black man spotting this and critiquing this and showcasing this to the community to basically say, like, yo, this needs to stop. This shouldn't be happening. We can't talk about black men over sexualizing black women, but then you have black women doing this all the time. So I guess it's okay and fine and dandy, right? As long as a black woman is doing it and is quote unquote in control over it, I guess. But the image of this black woman is no longer in her control, because the image of her doing this is going to be all over the internet. And there's a whole bunch of other men that don't look nothing like me that are posting this, and they're saying a whole bunch of nasty and derogatory type of things towards her, and also racist things towards her. I've seen these things. But like I said before, you're not going to have a lot of these black women that come here and complain about me. They're not going to do a deep research about this, though. But they're going to continuously be offended by my voice, by my content, and by what it is that I decide to speak on and say and critique when it comes to videos like this. Good job. Let me just show y'all real quick why I opted not to be a teacher, right? So Bree wrote, I'm sorry, can someone explain how this became a black woman versus black man issue? I can see your point where you talked about if this man did this to her, would it be an issue? It would be an uproar, right? Which means the conversation will be about how women can get away with things they shouldn't. But how did this have anything to do with black men and over-sexualizing black women? How did those points come up? I responded, you must be new here. Never seen the other videos I've done where I've talked about black women and black men. If you happen to see those other videos, then you will understand why it gets brought up. Basically me telling her, like, hey, before you open your mouth, get emotional and whatnot, whatever. Just so happen to do your research on his platform and why it is that I speak on the things I speak on, right? Very simple, very, in a sense, somewhat direct, right? So she responded back, I'm actually a silent viewer, and I still don't understand since most black women athletes don't do this. Now, nowhere in what I stated did I say that all black women and all black athletes do this, but for whatever reason, the ones that, in a sense, agree with what it is that these women do and that are fine with what it is that these women do, and they might also do it themselves, they want to open their mouths and they want to start talking about, oh, but you're general, you're not all, and nobody's talking about that, but you're trying to specifically put it to a point, right? I'm doing this as to get the point across. Like I said, it's two different things here, right? So later she then stated that, once again, I get the sexual harassment commentary as it pertains to equality, but I'm not understanding how this became a black woman over sexualizing themselves type of conversation. Also, just because I'm trying to understand the point or slash indifferent until it's explained doesn't mean I'm not looking for an understanding. Yes, we all can choose which videos to comment on, and I commented on one that confused me. Time is of the essence, so carry on. And then later on, she stated that that's great. Too bad I didn't get the clarification to my question. I clearly told you that as a grown woman, go if you want the clarifications, if you want the answers that you seek, go look them up. I'm not your teacher. I'm not going to give you an easy pass to all the information that you basically seek. If you really want this information, you can go ahead and work for it and go find that directly for yourself. If you don't, then you're going to sit here looking stupid and keep replying back and keep saying that, oh, I didn't, get what it is and all this other type of stuff. And like I told her before, she was like, I don't get how this became a conversation about black women over sexualizing themselves. It was at that point in the conversation, I was like, I'm done. I wipe my hands of this conversation. If you can't look at the optics in this video and figure out why it is that I'm talking about the over sexualization of black women, there is no helping you. Godspeed. All right, so obviously we got a pizza lover here. We got Brooklyn Brook, right? More than likely, I'm guessing that Brookie is white, um, and wanted to basically state that y'all black bloggers kill me. Male, female acting as if pro-black, but do the most slandering of the race to prove, oh, it's not the gender's fault or the gender fault. Instead of fixing whatever problems y'all just make all look bad, trying to prove who in the race is to blame both and any who continue to do this BS like this, right? Now, there was another comment that she basically stated, right? Where she stated this here. She was like, just because you have talking points or racist stuff done against black folks in America doesn't mean you understand the assignment. If you did, you understand you're just another skin folk portraying to be down, right? Which means I'm faking the funk, people. She found me out. I'm a rat. She found me out. I'm obviously working for the other side, right? Doing the job of the supremacist who has their purpose together, agenda for us to fall, destroy each other, is already successful for 100 years. And then she went on to basically say that, I'm angry and I'm angry at the wrong people. I should be angry at the media. And I basically responded and told him that, yo, I basically go after any and everybody that basically comes negatively at black people. A critique is different versus basically stating like, yo, this is everything that black people are, this is everything that black people embody, this is everything that black people do, and you're on a continuous spill for hundreds of thousands of videos making tons of dollars and money and doing all that's not what I do at all. But like I said, this is what happens when you have people that are emotional, that don't want to use logic and critical thinking, and don't want to actually do their research before they start talking, right? Then later on basically stated, you're frequently watched, you're not frequently watched, you're suggested, which now I'm trying to figure out, right? If I look at my other platform where it basically listed, hey, Seiji, you had about like 50 million people that basically viewed you, right? And then on here, you got about 3 million people that basically viewed you, which means that overall together, that's like 53 million people that have viewed my content, heard my voice, or have at least seen me in some type of fashion, way, shape, or form. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking that this person is just talking about, oh, they don't frequently view me, but that's not really how they wrote it. They said that you're not, which is a generalization, which is saying that, yo, people ain't really, frequently watching you like you think. And I'm like, yeah, the numbers suggest otherwise. YouTube tells me otherwise, but I digress because they know what they're talking about because they do their research, right? She said that because I guess at times you're pro-black. I'm like, huh? At times? And then they were like, you hate for one black person, male or female. I'll point it out because what you're doing isn't helping our already damaged communities. You're no different than the white man, which is probably your job, keeping us arguing and separating with your woman bashing. Same for any black woman bashing. I'm sorry, any black woman, man bashing. It doesn't help the issue. It's making it worse. Like I said before, if that was the case, I would just, anybody who always makes these accusations, I would love for people to just prove it. I have tons of videos up here. You can easily just sit up there and prove it. I don't take videos down unless YouTube decides that they want to sit up there and take videos down. So you have all of the time to leave a comment. You got all of the time to sit up there and look through and peruse videos and basically decipher and figure out, if Seiji hates black women and, it's detrimental to the black community. Last time I checked, the main thing that's detrimental to the black community is BET, which is not even black owned. But I digress. Now, Like I said before, I'm talking about the over sexualization of black women. Doesn't matter if it comes by black men, if it comes by black women. It's the whole thing that is detrimental, right? If we're going to solely talk about the fact that, oh, black men, they've been doing this for generations, you can only realistically state that as long as rap has been in existence, which is roughly the late 80s, if we're going to be realistic about it. The late 80s is the late 80s all the way up until now. That's the moment in time that you can basically point directly towards that. But when we talk about the real over sexualization of black women, that comes by way of the media, right? So a lot of the movies that were made in different things like Holly Berry and Monster Ball, what black man told her to do that? Black man didn't. She decided to sit up there and do that, and she got awarded for it. Correct? Last time I checked, she sat up there and got awarded for that, right? So we got White Diamond, right? The classic, right? She said that she can do whatever she wants to do. She's a grown woman. I don't think she was USA. It don't matter. As I stated before, if people were to view her just by me looking at her, she looks like a normal black woman that I would see here in the United States, right? She has like the zillions directly in her hair. She got like the earrings, like the build that she got. She looks like a normal everyday black woman that if I were to walk outside and basically let's say like go to somewhere down south, right? Go to New York, some places over there in LA, go to Detroit or whatever. I could sit up there and spot a black girl that is pretty much similar to her. Matter of fact, there were black girls that looked like her that I went to school with, back in middle school and high school. So, like I said, this is a further justification, right? So then she decided to respond to Jay, right? And she was like, I'm not talking down on anyone. Brothers need to be worried about what they can do better themselves as a whole. What I look like talking about brothers if I'm not living right and vice versa. Brothers are not in any shape or size to talk down on black women, and the same goes for black women too. This is when she's trying to give the justification while still trying to judge and talk about how black men don't have the right to basically speak on anything negative that black women are doing, right? That's why she threw the black woman thing in there. So then she was like, see, that's the problem. Brothers are worried about the wrong things and not enough about the right things. She later stated that I asked you the question, and what are you brothers doing that is so outstanding as a whole that gives brothers the right to come at black women? Next, why do you care what black women do? You brothers need to clean around your doors before trying to clean around black women. Last but not least, the greatest of the greatest. Brothers sweep, in all caps, brothers sweep around your doors, your own doors, before sweeping around black women's doors. You brothers are not riding on clean sleds. Y'all track records is worse. You brothers need to get a life because y'all have too much time on y'all hands. What you brothers need to do as a whole is stay in school, say no to drugs, stay off the street corners, get a job, pull your pants up, on y'all butts, stop making different baby mamas, stop drinking and playing loud music, and taking care of your kids. Now, remember, she just stated that she was not talking down on black men, but this is what she gave the stereotype, right? And this is why I look at comments like this, right? And I'm like, you're more than likely not even a black woman. If you do hate your own. I'm just going to say it the way it is. Let's just go back to what she stated, right? She said, we need to, stay in school. You do have black men that are actually in school, going to college, finishing high school, getting homeschooled, receiving trades, or better yet, some of them might not be in school because they're entrepreneurs. They're starting up their own businesses. They're doing things like that. Or maybe they might be doing 2 things or 3 things at once. But like I said, she's not trying to do that research, nor is she trying to look at any black male channels that's about the positivity that black men are actually doing, because that's her kryptonite, right? She said, say no to drugs. Every single time that I happen to look on IG, if I look on Twitter, different things, I see a lot of black women indulging in alcohol and drugs. And we all know that 9 times out of 10, if a woman is out in public and she is inebriated, right, in any other type of way, don't matter if it's alcohol or weed or both, that it's a liability to her, because you have guys out here who just don't care and they will take advantage of that fact. Right? But you're not going to sit up there and hear a whole bunch of women like her talking about, oh, women need to stop smoking and stop. She's not going to sit up there and say that, because, like she said up top, she can do whatever she wants to do because she's a grown woman. Right? She said, stay off street corners. Right? So why is it that I really haven't, in this time frame, right, at least where I'm at, I haven't really seen brothers, out on street corners, maybe in like the 90s, maybe the early 2000s, stuff like that. But pretty much that's not really what I see at this moment in time. I see more brothers on social media doing stuff versus being on street corners, right? But I digress. But If you're talking about street corners, the brand new street corners when it comes to a lot of black women out here is social media, right? So instead of them dressing provocatively, and walking around and doing all of this other type of stuff, engaging with a variety of different men, they basically do this on social media, where that's in a sense their street corner, where they don't just have to worry about the men that are in their community. They could just sit up there and talk to men in the world in general and get all of that attention that they've always wanted and always seeked. So along also with that positive attention that they quote unquote seek, they're getting that negative attention, right? They're getting that blowback, where you got men from other cultures basically coming at them sideways because they want to sit up there and put their bodies out on the forefront instead of putting themselves out in their personalities, right? So then she said, get a job. Last time I checked, I've seen a lot of black women out here making video posts talking about a lot of men out here are suckers, especially rich men, and it's very easy to sit up there and get the bag. Get the bag basically means that you'll capture a guy who has money, right? And you'll use the assets that you have in order to ensnare and capture that guy, or you'll have that rich guy and you'll just decide to sit up there and allow him to get you pregnant, and then you'll leave off with the kid and you'll get like 20 or 40 or whatever grand a month, and you don't even have to work for nothing. But she's up here saying that black men need to sit up here and get a job. Okay. But like I said, you're not going to speak on the things that you got black women out here literally doing and making TikTok videos, IG videos, and YouTube videos about, and all this other type of nonsense. And then you're saying like, pull your pants up on your butts. That one I have no problem with. I 100% agree. The sagging culture that comes with hip hop and rap, it perpetuates a negative stereotype, and then it also comes from prison culture, prison and jail, and then that's also linked directly right back to slave culture as well. But I digress, right? Then she said, stop making different baby mamas. Now this is where I get on this one here, right? It is impossible for a black man to make, right, quote unquote, baby mamas if a black woman decides, right, that this is not the type of black man who has everything negative going about himself, who doesn't have nothing, right? He don't have no money, he don't got a job, he don't got a car, he don't got a place, he don't got none of that. But they still selectively choose the villain to sleep with and to procreate with, bringing a child in to debt. So it's like, you can't sit up there and say, telling black men to stop, getting women pregnant, if you're not telling women to stop allowing these negative black men who ain't about nothing to get them pregnant. That don't make sense. That literally doesn't make sense. You can't sit up here and decide that, I'm going to put all the responsibility on men. That's crazy. I can't go out here and get women pregnant unless they allow me or want me to sleep with them. Understand what I'm saying? It's common sense. It doesn't take a whole thing. And then you wanted to say stop drinking and playing loud music and take care of your kids. There's a lot of mothers out here, black women, that's not taking care of their kids. Just because they got reproductive organs and they can give birth does not necessarily make them a mother. A lot of women out here are sitting up here using them as meal tickets to get money from the government, and also to sit up there and get child support so that they don't have to sit up there and do anything. I've seen some black women out here who dress better than they dress their own kids. So like I said before, you need to roll back and you need to check yourself directly on that. And you talk about stop playing loud music. Please, how about stop every single time a song that deals with twerking or gyration comes on? How about not doing that in somebody's restaurant, on a dining table? How about not doing that outside, on cop cars, on police cars, during protests? How about that? How about that one? But yet, like I said before, you're not adult enough to have any of these conversations that I just brought up, because anything that you can bring up, I can very easily bring up because I've covered this and talked about these subjects. But like I said, it's whatever it is at the end of the day. Remember, Seiji hates, black women, and that's what it's going to be in a lot of these minds directly out there. That's what it's going to be. So it's like, you know what? I'm at the point where I don't really try to save everybody. I get the information out and tell people who actually listen. And then for the people who don't, well, you'll just be playing catch up, or you'll just be wondering what exactly took place. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be on you. You ain't going to be able to blame this black man on, oh, I can't believe where is it? It's going to be on you at the end of the day. It's going to be on you. It's going to be on you. But anyways, that's enough of my commentary. I'll decide if I might just so happen to make a part 2, depending on the conversations that take place, since the video is still like ongoing and whatnot. We'll see what it is, right? But anyways, let me know if you guys enjoyed this commentary and everything else that I listed and stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.